Griffith's family from near Llangollen had invited her over for 6 months. They were friendly with her family. She was coming over for 6 months to work for them, to live with them, to polish up on her Welsh and to learn English. That's all it was. Nothing more, nothing less. She travelled 20 hours from Patagonia to Buenos Aires, 15 hours flight to Heathrow, was held in a secure unit, was interrogated in the most fierce manner, and then it was appealed 2-3 times. Still, nobody would listen to anything that was being said. My colleague Howell Williams rang them, nothing could be done, and she was flown back again that day. I mean, I think it's disgusting the way she was treated, and there's no reason whatever for that to have happened to this young woman. I'm embarrassed, I'm appalled, and to think that this is the sort of welcome that people of Welsh descent from Patagonia are given when they come to the UK, it clearly appalls me, actually. And I would hope that after we have a meeting with the Foreign Office, the Immigration Minister, that he will make sure that this doesn't happen again. I'm disgusted at the behaviour.
They have said that their case was reviewed 3 times and then they still decided to send her back to Argentina. What was the process and why did they come to that decision then?
Well, the process itself is pretty awful. She was interrogated by 3 different people on 3 different occasions, and then they allege that she said something slightly different in one interview from the other. Bear in mind the number of hours she's travelled to begin with. It's just, it's a wonder that she could say anything to anybody. And then my colleague Howell rang and it was reviewed. Mr. Griffiths rang and it was reviewed. The review means, of course, the papers are put on somebody else's desk. They rubber stamp what their colleague has done. Bob's your uncle. On that day, by the way, there was no Home Office Minister available to speak to anyone. So there should have been somebody on duty, and that might have changed things. As best as I can make it, because it's still difficult to see from the paperwork, they allege that she might have given one misleading answer out of, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours conversation with different people. And bear in mind that she's speaking Spanish, and not every one of those interrogators had good Spanish anyway. So the whole thing, I think, is dreadful, really dreadful, and I hope to see the Phil Willis this week, and I'm raising this at Welsh Questions. As is my friend and colleague Howell Williams, we will make sure that this matter is brought forward in the strongest way. I hope then that the Welsh ministers will lend their support when we meet with the Immigration Minister to ensure, firstly, that we can relook at this case, whether there's a possibility of compensating this young woman by paying for her flight back, because clearly she should not have been refused, and to make sure that this disgraceful behaviour is not repeated in the future.